Commander Zexathara's mandibles clicked with satisfaction as the sensor readings confirmed what her crew had suspected for the past 3 cycles. A lone human freighter, designation Merchant's Dream, had been detected moving through the disputed Kepler 442 system, exactly where no civilian vessel should dare to venture. Energy signature is consistent with a standard human cargo hauler, reported her tactical officer, Sub-Commander Veltar. Single reactor core, minimal shielding. Estimated crew complement, 12 to 15 humans. The Kitharan destroyer Apex. Predator had been stalking the vessel for hours, maintaining a respectful distance while gathering intelligence. Zexathara's species had evolved from ambush predators, and patience was woven into their very DNA. Still, this particular hunt felt almost too easy. "Any defensive armaments?" she asked, her 4 eyes focused on the tactical display. "Negative, Commander. Standard merchant vessel configuration. Perhaps a few point defense turrets for asteroid debris, nothing more." Zexathara's crew exchanged what passed for grins among their species. The Kitharan hegemony had been at war with the Terran Alliance for 6 months now, and human merchant vessels had proven to be valuable prizes, both for their cargo and the intelligence they could provide. "Begin approach vector," she commanded. "Standard intercept formation. This should be simple enough." The Apex Predator gracefully adjusted course, its sleek hull cutting through space like a blade. Around them, 2 escort frigates moved into flanking positions. 3 warships against 1 defenseless freighter. The humans would surrender without a fight. As they closed to weapons range, Zexathara opened a communication channel. "Human vessel Merchant's Dream. You have entered Kitharan space without authorization. Prepare to be boarded." The response came back in heavily accented Standard Galactic, the voice crackling through the speakers with what sounded like nervousness. Negative on that, alien friends. We're just passing through." "No trouble intended. You will comply or be destroyed," Zexathara replied coldly. "Look, we're just hauling grain to the colonies out in Epsilon Eridani. Nothing valuable here, promise." Veltar leaned toward his commander. "Grain shipments are common human exports. The vessel's mass readings are consistent with bulk cargo." But something nagged at Zexathara. In her 20 years of military service, she had learned to trust her instincts. Something about this felt wrong. "Full sensor sweep," she ordered. "I want to know everything about that vessel." The seconds stretched as her science officer worked. Finally, he looked up with confusion evident in his posture. "Commander, the readings are strange." "Define strange." "The cargo compartments show grain, yes, but there are inconsistencies in the hull composition. Some sections appear to be reinforced beyond merchant standards." Zexathara's blood chilled. "Weapons scan, now." Before her science officer could comply, the human freighter began to transform. What had appeared to be standard cargo bay doors suddenly irised open along the vessel's flanks, revealing rows of missile tubes. The unremarkable reactor signature that had fooled their sensors doubled, then tripled in intensity as secondary and tertiary power cores came online. Hull panels that had mimicked civilian construction shifted and rearranged, exposing targeting arrays and energy weapon emplacements. "All stations combat alert!" Zexathara screamed, but it was already too late. The Merchant's Dream, if that had ever been its real name, unleashed hell. Plasma bolts, each one carrying enough energy to cripple a cruiser, lanced out from concealed weapon ports. The lead escort frigate simply ceased to exist, consumed in a ball of superheated gas. The second frigate managed to return fire before a spread of human torpedoes tore through its shields and hull like paper. "Impossible," Veltar shouted over the din of alarms. "No freighter could mount that kind of firepower." The human voice came back over the communication channel, but now it carried no trace of nervousness. Instead, it was calm, professional, and absolutely terrifying. "Kitharan vessel, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Alliance ship Retribution, operating under false civilian registry. You have 30 seconds to surrender before I demonstrate what a real human warship can do." Zexathara stared at her, tactical display in disbelief. The vessel they had stalked was not only a warship, It was a heavy warship, likely a battlecruiser-class vessel disguised as a merchant freighter. The humans had somehow managed to mask its true signature while maintaining the appearance of a defenseless cargo hauler. "Commander, orders?" Veltar asked, his voice tight with fear. Around them, space debris that had once been two Catharan frigates drifted silently. The human vessel, Retribution, hung motionless, its weapon port still glowing with barely contained energy. Waiting. "How?" Zexthera whispered. "How did they mask a battlecruiser as a freighter?" Her science officer's voice was shaking. "The grain, Commander. It wasn't just cargo, it was camouflage. They've lined their hull with actual grain containers using them to mask the ship's true mass and energy signature. And the reactor cores, they must have been running on minimal power, using the grain container's own power cells to maintain life support while hiding their true capability." Zexthera realized she was looking at a level of tactical deception that went beyond mere military strategy. This was engineering artistry combined with psychological warfare. The humans had anticipated that their enemies would scan for weapons and energy signatures, so they had created a vessel that could pass every standard military inspection while hiding the firepower of a dreadnought. 20 seconds, Catharan ship," Captain Chen's voice reminded them. "Signal our surrender," Zexthera ordered quietly. As her crew complied, she couldn't help but feel a grudging respect for the humans. The Kytheran hegemony prided itself on being the galaxy's apex predators, but the humans had just demonstrated that they understood predation on a level that transcended mere hunting. They had turned an entire starship into bait. The war, Zexthera realized, was going to be far more complicated than anyone had anticipated.